Welcome to Jesus Christ Prison Ministry and another video Bible study. Our topic, Deuteronomy chapter 31. Then Moses went out and spoke these words to all Israel. I am now 120 years old. I am no longer able to lead you. The Lord has said to me, you shall not cross the Jordan. The Lord your God himself will cross over ahead of you. He will destroy these nations before you, and you will take possession of their land. Joshua will also cross over ahead of you, as the Lord said, and the Lord will do to them what he did to Sihon and Og, the kings of the Ammonites, whom you destroyed along with their land. The Lord will deliver them to you, and you must do to them all that I have commanded you. Very important point here. We are not to depend on anyone. The Israelites had gotten very used to depending on Moses. He was their crutch. He was their visible God, you might say. God had to remove him. He did his job. But people must learn that our pastors, our churches, our denominations are not God. We are not to depend on them. We are not to turn them into some superstar or something. We're to listen to God himself. We're to come to Jesus and Jesus only. That's what this ministry is all about. If you go to our website, you will find videos and Bible studies there that will take you to Jesus Christ. Bow at his feet. Listen to him, learn, and God will bless you. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. This is a very important promise. However, there is a caveat that goes with it, and that's the little word if. God will never leave you nor forsake you if, as the whole Bible tells us, if we are obedient, if we are living in obedience to his 10 commandments, he will never leave us or forsake us. But if we are living in sin, God cannot live where sin is. We have to get rid of it in our lives. God was willing to be with the Israelites, never leave them or forsake them, as long as they did their part in obedience to his commands. But as we know through the story of the history of the Israelites, they rebelled against God, and God left them and forsook them. Then Moses summoned Joshua and said to him in the presence of all Israel, be strong and courageous, for you must go with this people into the land that the Lord swore to their forefathers to give them, and you must divide it among them as their inheritance. The Lord himself goes before you and will be with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. We have nothing to fear. We have nothing to be discouraged about if we are living in obedience to God. Open up the Word of God. Read it. Be obedient. Change every aspect of your life that is not in submission to the 10 Commandments. And then you can be courageous. You can be brave. Nothing to fear. God will never leave you or forsake you. So Moses wrote down this law and gave it to the priests, the sons of Levi, who carried the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and to all the elders of Israel. Then Moses commanded them, at the end of every 7 years, in the year of canceling debts, during the Feast of Tabernacles, when all Israel comes to appear before the Lord your God at the place he will choose, you shall read this law before them in their hearing. This is very important. Our churches are to be a place where the law is read. We are to come into our churches and we are to read the 10 Commandments and this law to find out what God wants of us. We need to change our lives. If your church, pastor, denomination is teaching you saved by grace, that we no longer have to be obedient to the 10 Commandments, they're done away with, or in any way softens them, get out and bring everybody you can. Assemble the people, men, women, and children, and the aliens living in your towns, so they can listen and learn to fear the Lord your God and follow carefully all the words of this law. Is your church teaching you to follow all the words of this law? God doesn't change. He doesn't change. Jesus came and he said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. He spoke that way, that truth, and that life in the Old Testament, wrote it with his own finger, and then he came and lived it so that we could see how to put it into practice. Their children who do not know this law must hear it and learn to fear the Lord your God as long as you live in the land you are crossing the Jordan to possess. Are your children hearing the law? Are they learning how to be obedient to God? Maybe that's why you're having problems with your children. Maybe that's why society is in rebellion against everybody and everything else. Without the law of God, without the Spirit of God, which is the law, His Word, says the Bible, without that in our heart, there is nothing to constrain us against our selfish, wicked, natural disposition. That's why the world is going crazy right now. The law has been done away with in our churches. The Lord said to Moses, now the day of your death is near. Call Joshua and present yourselves at the tent of meeting, where I will commission him. So Moses and Joshua came and presented themselves at the tent of meeting. Then the Lord appeared at the tent in a pillar of cloud, and the cloud stood over the entrance to the tent. And the Lord said to Moses, you are going to rest with your fathers. Notice, it's a rest. He didn't say, hey, soon you're going to come up to be with me. Death is a sleep. We go to sleep. We rest in the grave until God resurrects us. For most of us, that'll be at the end of time. For Moses, I don't know how long it was before God resurrected him again and took him to heaven. But we leave all of that in God's hands. We rest in the grave until God decides. And these people will soon prostrate themselves to the foreign gods of the land they are entering. Ah, folks, how quickly we forsake God. Things start going well, and we start getting high-headed and proud and arrogant in our churches, our pastors and denominations. They have all forgotten God. They have all prostituted themselves to the foreign gods of the world. It breaks my heart. They will forsake me and break the covenant I made with them. On that day I will become angry with them and forsake them. I will hide my face from them, and they will be destroyed. That's coming very soon now. Very soon. In a theological sense, it is happening. The churches have all abandoned the law of God, all of them, even the Sabbath-keeping ones. No longer teach the law as God requires, to be feared, to be put in the heart, to be obeyed. Instead, it's saved by grace and, well, do your best, but we can't stop sinning. Everything that churches teach today go against everything God teaches. Many disasters and difficulties will come upon them, and on that day they will ask, have not these disasters come upon us because our God is not with us? That's right, He's not with you. Because your church, your pastor, your denomination, you have left God. You are no longer obedient to Him. And I will certainly hide my face on that day because of all their wickedness and turning to other gods, to other pastors, to other churches, to other denominations. If you're turning and going to a church, get out. Come back to God. Listen to Him. and be obedient to him and him alone. Now write down for yourselves this song and teach it to the Israelites and have them sing it, so that it may be a witness for me against them when I have brought them into the land flowing with milk and honey, the land I promised on oath to their forefathers. And when they eat their fill and thrive, they will turn to other gods and worship them, rejecting me and breaking my covenant. All the churches today have broken the covenant of God. But instead of bowing humbly before them and repenting and turning back to the Ten Commandments, they've thrown it out. They're doing it their way. And when many disasters and difficulties come upon them, this song will testify against them, because it will not be forgotten by their descendants. I know what they are dispossessed to do, even before I bring them into the land I promised them on oath. So Moses wrote down this song that day and taught it to the Israelites. The Lord gave this command to Joshua, son of Nun. Be strong and courageous, for you will bring the Israelites into the land I promised them on oath, and I myself will be with you. That is the command God gave this ministry. This ministry is to help you prepare for the promised land, to guide you in all the way of Jesus in order to get you into heaven. After Moses finished writing in a book the words of this law from beginning to end, he gave this command to the Levites who carried the ark of the covenant of the Lord. Take this book of the law and place it beside the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God. There it will remain as a witness against you, for I know how rebellious and stiff-necked you are. If you have been rebellious against the Lord while I am still alive and with you, how much more will you rebel after I die? Assemble before me all the elders of your tribes and all your officials, so that I can speak these words in their hearing and call heaven and earth to testify against them. For I know that after my death you are sure to become utterly corrupt and to turn from the way I have commanded you. In his love, God came. He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. He came to take us back to the Old Testament, to teach us this law, the covenant again, and they refused, and so he destroyed them. The Christians today are doing the same thing as the Jews of Christ's day. They've abandoned the law. They have rejected his ways. In days to come, disaster will fall upon you, because you will do evil in the sight of the Lord and provoke him to anger by what your hands have made. And Moses recited the words of this song from beginning to end in the hearing of the whole assembly of Israel. It is a serious thing to sin. Sin destroys. God is love. There is no sin in God. If we claim to be Christians, then we are to have God living within us. If God is living within us, we cannot sin. I pray today that you will open your heart to Jesus Christ, that you will accept his 10 commandments, his law, into your heart and become like Jesus. Let the love of God flow out. Teach it to everyone around you, and then you will be blessed. If you are sick, you will be healed. If you go to our Bible studies, to our videos, watch them, study them, obey them, teach them, promote them, and support them. God is anxiously waiting to heal you physically and spiritually. God bless you. Thank you for being with me and Jesus Christ for another video Bible study.